Yo, what's up, chaos enthusiasts? It's your favorite truth-twisting, celeb-roasting gossip gremlin back on your screen, and today, hoo boy, Steve-O has out-Steve-O'd himself again. We're talking frostbite podcasts, DIY Beaver dentistry, and a unicycle road trip that's powered entirely by Monster energy and bad life choices. Buckle in, this one's colder, crazier, and way more caffeinated than your ex's DMs at 2 a.m. Okay, pause whatever boring thing you were doing, because Steve-O just pulled off a triple scoop of insanity. First, he turned an industrial freezer into a 19-hour podcast studio, proving frostbite is just a vibe. Then, he casually performed dental surgery on a beaver during a camping trip like some kind of chaotic wildlife dentist vigilante. And as if that wasn't enough, he's now planning to unicycle across America, powered only by Monster energy and pure, unfiltered regret. This isn't just content. This is Steve-O rewriting the definition of what could possibly go wrong. And honestly, we're here for every frosty, dental floss whipping, unicycle wobbling second of it. Steve-O sets world record for longest podcast recorded from inside a freezer. In a move that can only be described as classic Steve-O meets IKEA meet locker, stunt legend and professional chaos ambassador Steve-O has officially set a new world record, the longest podcast ever recorded from inside an industrial freezer. The marathon session lasted a teeth-chattering 19 hours, during which Steve-O allegedly survived on nothing but Monster energy, stubbornness, and half a bag of frozen tater tots. "This is how I keep the takes fresh," he said, literally. "Most podcasters record in studios with foam panels," Steve-O said through visible breath clouds. "I record surrounded by frozen chicken thighs. It's authentic. It's raw. It's freezer core." Listeners tuned in expecting chaos, and oh honey, they got Arctic-grade entertainment. Within the first 2 hours, his microphone partially froze, forcing him to warm it up with his armpit like some kind of desperate penguin dad protecting his egg. By hour 7, guests began to arrive wearing snow pants, thermal socks, and the kind of facial expressions that said, "I regret signing this release form." The highlight came midway through the pod when Tony Hawk, Steve-O's longtime partner in ridiculousness, appeared. Not with words of encouragement, oh no. The man simply rolled past a shelf of frozen peas on a skateboard, gave Steve-O a nod, and disappeared into the mist of icy fog like some frosty skateboarding deity. Tony showing up was spiritual, Steve-O explained. It was like the ghost of kickflips past blessing the pod. Over the 19-hour marathon, Steve-O and his rotating cast of half-frozen guests discussed everything from the ethics of vegan ice cream, how frostbite is just your body's way of saying wrap it up, bro, and whether sound waves travel faster when your nose hairs are icicles. Spoiler, science says, kinda. At one point, a guest tried to explain cryptocurrency but their lips froze mid-sentence. The resulting noise has since been turned into a techno remix on TikTok called CRYP Toe Jams. While Steve-O successfully smashed the record, the Guinness World Records verification team notably refused to step into the freezer, citing union rules, common sense, and basic survival instincts. Instead, they monitored the stunt from the safety of a heated van outside, occasionally shouting through the freezer window, "Are you alive or just chillin'?" When the podcast finally ended, Steve-O emerged like a frostbitten phoenix, victorious but slightly crunchy. Emergency medics were on standby with heated blankets, but Steve-O allegedly waved them off, yelling, "I'm built different." The episode has already hit over 1 million streams in 24 hours, with fans calling it the coolest podcast ever and podcasters everywhere nervously eyeing their own temperature-controlled studios like cowards. Is Steve-O pushing the boundaries of podcasting genius or simply proving that common sense freezes faster than water at 0 degrees Celsius? Honestly, both. Either way, he's now the undisputed king of cold takes. Steve-O accidentally declares himself a dentist after giving a beaver a root canal on Instagram Live. What started as a chill camping trip ended with Steve-O performing wildlife dental surgery on a confused beaver in front of 4.5 million livestream viewers. Yes. A beaver. a literal woodland creature. And somehow, Steve-O came out of it calling himself Dr. O. Ladies, gentlemen, and dental insurance agents, welcome to the most chaotic root canal in history. Steve-O and friends were camping near a lake when they noticed a beaver behaving strangely, gnawing on a log, then stopping and making noises that Steve-O described as the toothache version of dubstep. "I could just feel his pain," Steve-O explained later. "Like, me and this beaver had a connection. Probably because we both chew on questionable stuff." According to witnesses, Steve-O immediately sprang into action with the precision and planning of, well, Steve-O. He grabbed a flashlight, a roll of dental floss, and yelled, "I saw this on YouTube once," before diving toward the animal like some kind of chaotic forest dentist vigilante. Because of course he did, Steve-O went live on Instagram for the entire procedure. Viewers tuned in expecting camping shenanigans but instead got a front row seat to what looked like a crossover between Planet Earth and Grey's Anatomy, directed by a man who once duct-taped himself to a billboard. The chat section became an instant circus. Is this legal? Why is the beaver more chill than I am at my dentist? This man's about to get a Discovery Channel show, isn't he? One viewer even commented, "Somewhere a real dentist just woke up in a cold sweat." I watched a tutorial once, Steve-O's dental method. Steve-O's technique was, let's call it creatively improvised. He reportedly used the flashlight as both a light source and a motivational tool. Wrapped dental floss around the damaged tooth like pulling out a loose Lego. Whispered, "It's okay buddy, I've done worse to myself," to calm the beaver, and honestly, it worked. Against all odds, and possibly several wildlife protection laws, the tooth was removed cleanly. The beaver just sat there, completely unbothered, like it was getting a spa treatment. Experts are still unsure if this was luck, instinct, or the beginning of Steve-O's cursed second career. Within hours, the American Dental Association released a short but emotionally loaded press statement. "We do not endorse, recommend, or tolerate Steve-O performing dental procedures on wildlife or humans. Please stop." They also reportedly sent Steve-O a cease and desist letter written on minty green stationery with a floss sample attached. Meanwhile, several wildlife organizations have expressed a mix of horror and intrigue. One anonymous ranger said, "It's wrong. But also, kinda impressive." In true Steve-O fashion, he has decided to lean in hard. His Instagram bio now reads, "Unofficial dentist. Beaver whisperer. Available for wildlife tooth emergencies. DM for collabs." He's also teasing a new YouTube series called Open Wide, Buddy, which, if history repeats itself, will either get millions of views or the United States Fish and Wildlife Service involved. Possibly both. Was this dentistry? Vigilantism? Performance art? A cry for help? The jury's out. But what's certain is that Steve-O has once again managed to blend stupidity and legend into a single viral moment, proving there's nothing he won't live stream. The beaver, by the way, is reportedly thriving, and has been spotted gnawing logs with renewed confidence. Steve-O announces plan to cross the United States on a unicycle powered by Monster Energy and Regret. America, get ready. Steve-O, professional stuntman, chaos incarnate, and human reminder to wear a helmet, has announced his most deranged stunt yet, a coast-to-coast journey across the United States, on a unicycle. But that's not even the weird part. He plans to fuel the entire trip using only Monster Energy drinks and pure regret. Yes. You read that right. No food, no rest stops, just one wheel, one man, and enough caffeine to give a moose heart palpitations. Steve-O unveiled his stunt in a live press conference held, naturally, in a skate park while wearing a high-vis vest and a deeply concerning grin. "This isn't just about fitness," he said, cracking open a monster with his teeth. "This is about pushing human limits. And also making sure Monster never questions why they sponsor me again." According to Steve-O, his fuel plan involves drinking 1 can of Monster Energy every 12 miles and relying on regret and bad memories for the uphill stretches. "I've made a lot of bad choices in life," he said proudly. Turns out, they're excellent cardio motivation. Doctors have already filed a preemptive statement titled, "Please don't do this." For this stunt, Steve-O has partnered with GoPro, several brands that refuse to be named, and a group of wild raccoons he met behind a 7-Eleven during training. "They get me," Steve-O explained. "They're chaotic, nocturnal, and powered entirely by trash. We're soulmates." The raccoons will allegedly run alongside him at night, carrying mini cameras on their backs for cinematic effect. GoPro, for their part, seems equal parts thrilled and terrified. A spokesperson for GoPro said, "We're not sure if we're sponsoring this or documenting a crime. Either way, the footage will be sick." Steve-O's unicycle route will stretch from Santa Monica, California to Jacksonville, Florida, a brutal, approximately 2,500-mile journey through mountains, deserts, tornado country, and at least one town that will absolutely call the cops when they see him. His team has set up Monster Energy refuel stations every 50 miles, as well as regret checkpoints, which, according to Steve-O, are just places where I stare into the distance and rethink everything. Experts estimate the journey could take 4 to 6 weeks, depending on Steve-O's stamina, weather conditions, and how often he gets distracted by filming raccoon content for TikTok. Reactions have been, unsurprisingly, mixed. Fans are calling it the dumbest genius idea of the decade. Doctors are calling it a walking medical documentary in the making. The Department of Transportation just sighed deeply and started filling out paperwork. Paramedics across the country have already created a special radio code, Code O, to indicate a Steve-O-related emergency. When asked why he's doing this, Steve-O gave the most Steve-O answer imaginable. "I want to inspire people to do things so dumb they loop back around to being inspiring again." He then attempted to mount the unicycle during the interview, fell into a bush, and yelled, "See? That's the spirit." Will Steve-O become the first man to unicycle across America powered purely by monster and hubris? Or will he simply add unicycle-induced collapse somewhere in Oklahoma to his long list of chaotic achievements? Either way, America's about to witness the most unhinged road trip since Forrest Gump ran across the country for no reason. One wheel. Infinite chaos. Zero common sense. And honestly, we can't wait. So let's recap. Steve-O's redefining cool content with freezer podcasts, moonlighting as a woodland dentist, and planning to unicycle across America on nothing but regret and monster energy. The man's not just pushing boundaries, he's yeeting them into orbit. But the real question is, what's next? Skydiving while live streaming a cooking show? Performing Shakespeare underwater? Honestly, with Steve-O, it's 50-50. Smash that like button if you join him on the Regret Cycle tour, drop a comment with your wildest stunt prediction, and don't forget to subscribe, because in this corner of YouTube, chaos is a lifestyle. I'm your tabloid truth slinger, signing off. Stay weird, stay warm, and for the love of raccoons, don't try any of this at home.